And like pretty substantially too. Like when they logged on, people were pissed. They're like, this site's broken, my level is gone. It's like, oh yeah, your level's gone, dude, but the site's not broken. We hit you. Yeah. We got you good.
What up, gang? Cucumber Feet back with I guess sort of a new video, something I haven't really done before. I guess technically you could call this an interview. This is my first time interviewing someone. Not too long after Fish Tank ended, I got a DM from a gentleman named FishMilk. FishMilk, if you had ever been checking the leaderboards, for the most part, for a large portion of season 2 of Fish Tank, was actually number 2. He told me over DM that he had figured out a way to like hack the system, so to speak, to get more XP than everyone else, and wanted to know if I wanted to know more about it. He'd go on to tell me that him and the other 4 top 5 people from the leaderboard were all like colluding together to cooperatively boost their XP and get themselves to the top. So this discussion is an interview that him and I did just a few days ago. I did record it, but he wasn't doing a face cam, it was audio only. So I'm just gonna throw in some gameplay, maybe Portal, maybe Cyberpunk. I don't know what I've decided on yet. Either way, I hope you enjoy it. We do a bit of a deep dive on the whole clan system on Fish Tank Season 2, something I actually didn't really know much about because I didn't partake in the clan system at all. It's this whole other side to Fish Tank that I didn't really knew existed. Like I didn't know the fan base was that rabid over it or how intense these clan wars got. So we cover that and then we jump into what devious little schemes him and the other 4 members of the top 5 cooked up to bring themselves to the top spot. You can follow FishMilk on Twitter. I'll leave links to his social stuffs in the description. As well, he wanted me to shout out ReactSimply, someone who I actually used quite a bit, quite extensively to farm clips from during the time of me making my reviews for season 2. So big shout out to ReactSimply. Go give that lad a follow. I don't know why I said lad. That is not something I've ever said in my life. What's a cool thing that dudes say these days? Go give that dog a, no, that sounds racial. Go give my new best friend that I've never spoken to, ReactSimply, a giant follow. And while you're at it, you could also subscribe to this channel. I just opened up memberships. You don't really get much for memberships, to be honest. So if you don't have the money, don't bother doing it. You're not gonna get much out of it. But if you wanna support the channel in any way, would be greatly appreciated. Also, like, share, all that stuff helps in the algorithm. But without further ado, here is my interview with FishMilk.
Yo, what's up, dude?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. I'll just turn off TJ's stream really quick. I was watching him play some chess with Taylor.
Oh,
nice.
Whatever. I didn't know he was streaming. I've been trying to get in contact with him. I want to do something with him.
Oh, hey, I'm sure he'd be down. He's a very chill guy. I messaged him after the show to some short stuff, like a couple of my clips and stuff, and he was like, "Thank you, Milk. You really meant a lot to me during the," because I was giving him a lot of pep talks during the show. I'm like, bro, you can't let these guys walk on you. You have to stand up for you. Like even before the first fight, I was like, don't follow the rules blindly. What's it called? Production wants to see you like rage a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, so I have a couple of note cards I jotted down, just sort of like briefly outlining how Aperture, Smokane, I, and Siggy, and it was also this guy Gurns. I think I'm pronouncing it right. That was like the 5 of us that were in on the whole like XP gathering thing, which I have written out here. So initially,
hold on. I'd actually, because listen, I'll be completely frank with you with my Fish Tank experience. I was so wrapped up in watching Fish Tank and editing videos and shit. Like I basically paid almost no attention to chat whatsoever. I would occasionally I would look at chat just to like during a big moment just to see what people were saying to get a laugh out of it. But outside of that, I have no inkling of how the clan system even worked. So, and I think it would be valuable for people watching too if we just kind of started just straight from the beginning. If you explain clans to me, explain the concept of it to me like a dummy, like I don't know anything, and then we could just kind of take it from there and then move into the story. I think that'd be like a good flow of things.
Perfect. I think that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
So like essentially it was teased in season 1's commercials. Chris Lynch would say, oh, in season 2, there's going to be clans. And I think he told a joke like, but the #1 clan is Chris Lynch clan. And that was never a clan.
Guys, I want to remind you that Fish Tank Live Season 2 has clans. Us personally, members of the Chris Lynch clan. You can have your own private clan chat room where you guys can strategize. You can take out other clans, climb the leaderboards. You can become number 2 clan, but the Chris Lynch clan will be on top.
And you cannot use the cheat engine.
Clan up.
Clan it up.
Clan it up.
So it was kind of a way to sort of group up the users into groups that they would then spend, like there was a incentive for them to spend money to get the coins to make themselves, then their clans, be the number 1 clan. Mm-hmm. So essentially it was really just big groups of people either riding the coattails of guys who had spent money, or they were friends with someone in real life or on the internet, and so they wanted to join their clan. It was just a way to group them all up at first.
Were there like clan-specific chat rooms, or where you could just talk specifically to your clan? Was that a feature?
Yeah. So all the clans had that specific feature. You could talk within your clan. Only the bigger, from my experience, I was in Crack Gang, Josie Gang, Psych Gang, a bunch. I'll tell you why a little bit later.
Sure.
It's a funny little tidbit about why I was in all of them. But so only the bigger ones, in my experience, really used that feature.
Okay.
But it was a good feature. It was like a way for them to privately discuss out of the chat room what their plans would be.
Okay.
Like whether or not they wanted to like attack another clan, or whether they wanted to combine. Oh, and so every clan also had a vault. I don't know if I told you that.
No.
So the vault is a way you could show support for your clan by depositing money into that clan's bank, essentially, mm-hmm. and then only the owner of that clan could access the money.
Oh.
And so it was kind of like, exactly. So there was a way, the biggest clans had like, I think Crack had like at least $10,000 worth of that fish tank money in their. Yes, dude. There was a lot of money spent on literally just having that funds. Like they had it all in there, and you could do the math and figure out how much money they spent by how much coins they had. So it was pretty cool in that sense. You could like figure out who was like spending the big money, which I think it was Gold, Crack, and AFC. I think all of those clans had around 10K real life money in their bank at all times. Oh yeah, dude. There's some money being spent.
What would people spend the currency on? What were, I guess you can talk about some of the war toys they were called, right?
Yeah, the war toys. So I feel like those were second most popular to just straight up TTS. The war toys, I feel like, were more used by the clan owners to assert dominance over the other clans. And since they had so much money gathered from their members, they could spend like $1,000 a day on, like, there was one that was Sexy Assassin. Okay. You could take out like a big spender or their clan. I don't think you could get an owner, but you could take out high-ranking members of other clans and make them clanless. So it would cause internal strife. They'd be like, yo, why'd you leave my clan? Like, and they'd have to explain, like, I didn't leave. I got attacked by a guy. And they'd be like, oh, I don't believe you. And you know what I mean? A bunch of that stuff was going on.
Okay, so what were some of like the more popular war toys?
I think the most popular one that I saw used was Ceasefire, which was a way for other clans to stop clans from doing things to them. So, for instance, if Crack was getting attacked by AFC, the second they saw a single item, if they were good, so the second they saw a single item being used on them, they would buy the Ceasefire, and they would say, oh, Ceasefire with you. You can't do any more attacks on my clan. There's Kamikaze Strike, which people were trying to use.
Hold on, sorry. Ceasefire needs to be updated to friggin' Force Field for Season 3.
Yes, it does, dude. Literally, it does. Yeah. So that heroic sacrifice removes all negative debuffs on your clans at the price of all your XP. So what people would do is they have like a crappy alt account with like 10 levels, and it was still their account. So they would just have that account buy heroic sacrifice, sacrifice essentially nothing, and then they would take all of the negative effects that other people put on them and just take it off. I saw the one that changed your language. Like whenever you type, it would be in an opposite language. It was called Babelfish. So you would see people just typing normal stuff. All of a sudden, it would be in like Japanese characters.
Is that?
And you'd be like, oh my god.
That's why there was so much like Chinese characters in the chat.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Babel.
Holy shit. Okay.
Exactly. So people were using that. Essentially, like it was when whales didn't want anyone else talking. They're like, I don't want you to talk. $20, no more talking for you. I'm trying to look at some. So the number one, by far one, I think that was used before it was changed its price was Pack of Piranhas. Because I know for a fact Aperture spent $10,000, I think, on that fish toy because of his beef with Gold. Because him and Gold Clan, the leader of Gold, the owner, were going at each other constantly like, you're a this, you're a that. Oh no, you're a this, you're a that. He used that Pack of Piranhas to reduce Gold's all their members back to level 1. He took all of their XP, to every single last little bit, just as like a sort of like as a you. And then that caused them to be really mad and spend a lot of money to do like similar things to him.
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know these were so popular. Man.
Oh, they were super popular.
Because I figured people were spending for sure on TTS and for sure on fish toys, which I even thought some of I thought the fish toys were like fake, some of them, that like it was just production sending them, like the loot crates and shit, because there were so many of them. But I'm guessing, I'm seeing how much you're saying people were spending on war toys. Like, I would assume maybe I was wrong then.
Oh yeah, I'd say a lot of them were real, just because the support this season was very diverse. Like Shinji had a lot of whales that I think were either Japanese or really liked him, and they would only send fish toys to him. And one specifically they would use was I think it's called Wild Dog, and it's for 10,000 coins, which is $1,000. Whenever they're in the doghouse, they're freed. Shinji got like 6 of those, bro. That's like 6K right there. Okay. So they were just racking in money on some of these.
That's crazy. I had no idea that there was this whole other like culture to watching Fish Tank with like the whole clan.
Oh yeah. Man, it was nuts, bro. When you're high level like that, when you're level 1000, just being in a clan boosts them like to the front page of the leaderboard because of your XP. So other clans were messaging me like, hey dude, I see you're in this clan. Do you want to join my clan? And it would boost them up all the way to the leaderboards. I'll give you like 2K coins. And I swear to God, I did that 6 times. I did it to Ka. That's why I was in so many different clans, because they would buy me out essentially, sort of like extorting clans to be like, oh, hey, do you want to be on the leaderboards? Then you need me. And so they would trade us all around. Like they would trade Siggy to a bunch of different clans. Ka clan bought me out at one point. What was it? Crack didn't want to play into that because they were number 1 the whole time. So they just wanted to be like number 1 no matter what. They didn't really want to buy anyone out. They knew they had so much money. They were kind of almost even upset because they were one of the clans we targeted to take their XP.
So wait, you could give coins to other people?
Oh yeah, dude. You could tip them as much as you wanted. That's where a lot of my TTSs, a lot of my piranhas came from. Aperture gave me 2,000, which is 200, just for the piranha purchases when they were 20 a pop or 200 a pop.
Yep.
So I bought 20 of those, or something like 10 of those. So and dude, he had a legit stack of like 200 of them. And if you do the math there, like 200 times 250, I think it's any like 5,000. Maybe I might even have the numbers wrong. Might it be as much as 50,000 coins, which is 5K. So he literally spent like 5K to do this.
Did you being part of many clans, like did you often hear clans talking about like trying to take them out, and it's just they had too much
that was one of the reasons I would join so many clans, 100%, but because what you just said, to get in on their planning, and then I'd report back to Siggy, Aperture, and Smoke. I'd be like, all right, Psych is going to do this, or like Ka is planning on doing this. And so Ka, I would always inform them what clan not to be in, like which clan was going to get attacked, which clan was attacking which clan. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You kind of had to be wary of that.
Damn, so you were
I always knew.
You were like a fucking clan spy.
Oh yeah, dude. 100%. A paid spy.
Yo.
That was the funniest part too. Like they would give me 2,000 coins and be like, all right, you're part of this gang now. Like, don't tell our secrets. And like, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. And I was typing them like literally as I'm responding, like, oh, don't worry, dude, I'm trustworthy. I'm typing all their plans to Aperture, like, they're gonna do this, be careful, they're gonna do this plan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of it was timing. The timing had to be perfect. Like if you did things in the middle of the night, a lot of times the people who could stop you weren't watching or didn't care. So that was when a lot of the stuff would happen, like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. Yep, they would just try to get not that ceasefire toy. That's what they try to be avoiding at all costs, because that would stop you in your tracks when you're planning on getting someone or getting an entire clan.
Damn.
I
wish I was part of the clans now, because that's like, it's such a underbelly I didn't even know existed.
Oh, it was awesome, dude. It was legit awesome.
Yeah. Yo.
To this day, we don't even know exactly who Aperture is. He's just like a dude we became internet friends with. But people theorize that it was Aiden Ross because they asked him on his stream if he's into Fish Tank, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that show." And it's like, wait a minute, you've seen that show. You also have like infinity money and bet millions of dollars on betting streams all night. You're probably going to spend like a madman, and that's exactly how Aperture played. So people think it's Aiden. Yeah, legit. Don't even know who the guy is, but people think it's Aiden Ross. I know who Siggy and Smoke and Gurns are. Like, they're all just like normal guys. I don't know them in real life, but they're all just like normal guys. But Aperture's gone through a lot of what's it called, to keep his identity like hidden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was funny.
So you've never you've never heard his voice, let's say.
Oh yeah, no, I've never heard his voice. Only chat room stuff.
Okay.
When we would be in like little separate groups. The ASPCI clan is the one all the leaderboard boys were in, and that's where we made a lot of our plans, where it was in their specific
What did ASPCI stand for?
Aperture Science.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Kind of also a joke to the fact that Ty played Portal, and I think Aperture was a Ty fan.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I was playing Portal 2 on stream last week.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Portal's awesome.
Yeah.
To not change the subject, did you hear Jet got fired? That's what the rumor is.
It's not true.
That's what I think too. I don't think he'd get fired.
No, I mean, he came out and said it wasn't true.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
See, people were thinking even that was a lie, but I'm like, oh no.
No.
Just like you said, there's so much like theorizing.
Fish Tank fans are like retarded. Don't listen to anything they say. I assume everything that a Fish Tank fan says is either like them just being retarded or like them actively trying to gaslight you with fake information. Do you know where that came from?
No, I don't.
Do you know Chicken Lady?
No, is she Twitter?
Yeah, she's like a Twitter user. She said it in a Twitter space that Jet got fired. So everyone's like, Jet got fired, confirmed. Like she just like, she has no real connection to the show or whatever. She's just like a fan.
That's
like,
so funny.
Yeah, like it's funny. It was complete bullshit. Basically, so the whole time, let's say, just to sum that up, it was essentially everyone just trying to dethrone Crack Gang, and there was a few Gold, AFC, Josie, that were close to doing it, but Crack's bankroll was just too vast for anyone to be able to...
Exactly.
Okay, and do you know who was the leader of Crack Gang?
So that was a guy, 1-800. I don't know who he was in real life. I would always check back in with him. Sometimes, like, because Aperture said, like, to do it, be like, hey, message 1-800 and make him feel like we're not going to take all of his XP tonight or something like that. So some of the communications I had with him were, like, meant to be purposely deceiving. And some of them I would be like, oh, hey, like, do you want to help this clan do this? You know what I mean? Like, some actual constructive things. So it was, like, it was back and forth with that. But I think he knew in the back of his mind the whole time that he was going to get us back for taking as many levels as we did. Because to his eyes, like, we just betrayed him straight up. Like, that's like pretty unforgivable. There was an alliance feature where you could see on the clan's homepage who they were allied with. And I think this precluded you from even being able to use any negative clan toys on that clan.
Okay.
Crack had zero alliances, kind of like a alpha. Yeah, as like an alpha thing. They're like, we don't need any alliances. We have 20K, which is true.
Right. So you spent time in Crack Gang. The time you spent in Crack Gang, was that because they bought you out, or maybe it's an and/or type of situation where you were there strictly as some sort of like psyop, just information gathering? Like, had you already like formulated that plan with Aperture and Gurn and Smoke and whatnot?
Well, initially, we were all just in Crack with no plan. And I think it happened. Yeah. So we were all, because Crack was the #1 gang. Yeah. So, and it was always in the chat. So it was kind of fun to join the squad and like, you know what I mean? Whenever you sent to TTS, like with anything referencing Crack Gang, you'd see them all erupt like, yeah, baby, Crack runs this shit. We take no prisoner. You know what I mean? So it's fun to get them all riled up with pro Crack gang TTSs while being in their clan. So they loved that shit. And initially, that was like the only plan we had. But after Crack, Aperture, and 1-800, they had a sort of schism where you could tell they weren't working together anymore. And Aperture left the clan, but he was one of my buddies like from day one. So I was like, oh, do I leave? Do I stay? But he DM'd me the initial beginnings of our plan. He's like, all right, dude, leave Crack. We're going to do a big, like, we're doing a heist. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like,
do you know?
Crack's fun.
Do you know what 1-800 and Aperture had like a beef over, a tiff over?
I remember it being something about 1-800. As the owner of a clan, you can either allow or disallow other leaders, quote unquote, which is another ranking in the clan. Yep. Every other clan member is either just a quote unquote member, a leader, or you're the owner. And the owner, by default, is the only one allowed to touch the money. But since Crack had so much, other people wanted to, like, not even take it all, but they wanted, like, a free TTS or this and that. And 1-800 wasn't stingy, but he was like, he would not promote anyone to leader to even touch the money. He was always the one you always had to go through. Like, if you wanted to send a TTS and you didn't have the money, be like, hey, 1-800, I'm going to say something like this. Like, mind sending me 200 of the coins from the vault, and he would say yes or no or blah blah blah. So I assume it was something along those lines, like him not being made a leader, and then he wanted some vengeance.
Yeah, because 1-800 was like ruling with an iron fist, so to speak, a bit of a dictatorial.
And he had so much money, exactly. Right. And he had so much money, everyone could see it.
Yeah, and he had like Crack had like twice as much as second place, basically.
Oh yeah, when I got to Psych Gang, I think they had 2,000 coins, which is like $200, and that was like probably third most. I think second most would be gold with like 10,000 coins, which is like $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay, so
and that was part of the draw too. Like when you were in Crack A and you like looked at your page, you're like, oh, we're number one. We have the highest ranked people in the game. We have like freaking so much money. You kind of had this sense that you were ruling the game because a lot of the TTSs were coming from us. Yeah. In that beginning, like that first 20 days, it was coming from like Crack Gang. Yeah.
I mean, I remember hearing Crack Gang a lot. So.
Yeah, dude, they were going ham, bro. Yeah, from day one.
Okay, so there's a bit of a tiff between Aperture and 1-800, and there's so Aperture breaks and he asks you and Smoke and Gurn, right, to come with him. Is that it?
All former members of Crack. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a separation, and you guys all decide to go right away.
Yep.
Okay. So
all of us decide to go.
What made you want to leave Crack personally?
Part of it was Aperture dropped $2,000 or 2,000 coins into my thing, and that was part of his like bribe, sort of. You know what I mean? Okay. He's like, here's 2K. Now you're essentially my. He's like, you're my person now. I'm going to tell you what to do. Because before that, I was just flying under the banner of Crack. I really wouldn't do anything against them ever because I wanted access to the bank. And if you did anything that 1-800 didn't like, there was zero chance he would give you any money. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I got 2,000, I was like, ooh, I have as much coins as some small clans. Like I can make some plays here. You know what I mean?
So what was Aperture's plan? Did he like ever share that with you? Like, did he have a plan going out of Crack? Like what was like in the early days of that? What was that?
So the plan was the way that piranhas worked. They were initially 200.
So right off the bat, because I kind of know what you're going to say, I'll let you explain it. So, but right off the bat, his plan was to just basically as many clans over as possible. That's it.
Oh yeah, and we had I'm an old school RuneScape player and a WoW player and a Age of Empires player. I feel like Age isn't so applicable to this. Yeah. But in WoW and RuneScape, it's like a lot of what people do is figure out where those games, like where the developers of those games have made the slightest error. Like they've miscalculated something or they've overlooked some sort of thing that's going to cause you to do a ton of damage. Whereas like, it's usually very small little things that the the 1% or even the smaller, like the 0.001%, they find an exploit. So we were looking for that. We were looking for a way to exploit the game itself, but not like get banned. You know what I mean? Like not like actually hack it. We were just trying to like legally exploit it.
so right out of leaving Crack, you guys basically were like, all right, let's figure out a way to find some sort of exploit through War Toys or through the site to over every other clan, just cause chaos.
100%. And sort of like as like the way Crack Gang sort of said F you to everyone, we're the best clan.
Yep.
Aperture wanted that, and he wanted that on the leaderboards, like the #1 spot. It's like, you may be the best clan, but I'm the best person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what he was after, I think, for sure.
So what were, like, I know what you guys had ended up settling on, but did you guys have like any other plans of attack outside of the Piranha thing?
Yeah, one of the ones we were going to do is turn the screen upside down. It's kind of an expensive one, but it really messes with people. Like, if you do that to a clan, half of them are just going to log off. They're just going to be like, oh, I'll log back in when this is over. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you did that to like 4 or 5 clans, turn their screens upside down, and you could even combine that with allowing none of their language to be correct.
Yes.
They literally couldn't communicate with each other. They could hardly type. You know what I mean?
Insane.
They couldn't watch the show.
Yeah.
It's like you were literally blocking someone's access to the show. Yeah. But we also theorized that in and of itself wouldn't really be enough of a like you.
Yeah.
So we're like, how do we get these guys levels? Because everyone was very prideful of the leaderboard. They're like, oh, I'm level 300, you know, I'm the big dog. And it's like, wait a minute, if my math is right, we can be level 1,300 pretty much like just by doing this set, exclude like this like group of things, like in a very specific order.
Yeah, basically you kind of pivoted to, all right, well, if we can't be #1, how do we just basically knock everyone down a peg and boost ourselves at the same time? Okay. So it was really, it was just like a battle of pride, basically, or stealing
100%,
or at the very least stealing pride from the people I cared about.
100%, dude. That's really what it was about.
Okay. Was there any other plans that were like interesting that are worth mentioning? If there isn't, that's fine.
I think that's pretty much it. We were also planning on using the things that ended up getting used on us on the last day, Sexy Assassin. What that initially did, but that also, the fish toy was changed because that would take you out of a clan initially and take all of your XP before they realized that would be a little bit too messed up. Because taking someone's XP for 1,200 coins is ridiculously easy. Yeah. You know, if I had a beef with someone, I'd just like eliminate them unless they're the owner of a. That was the only person you couldn't get was the owner of a clan. Yeah, that made you like immune. So we were thinking about doing that to some people, but that seemed less efficient than boosting up ourselves.
Just because of the pricing.
Exactly, yeah. And like, say we spent 10,000 coins and we got 8 people. With this method that we use, the piranhas, I think we ended up affecting like 6,000, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, like 5 entire clans worth of people. And Crack alone had, I think, like 800. So it's like 800 plus 600 plus 650 plus, you know what I mean? Like roughly around like 5,000 to 6,000 people that we were affecting. And like pretty substantially too. Like when they logged on, people were pissed. They're like, this site's broken. My level is gone. It's like, oh yeah, your level's gone, dude. But the site's not broken. We hit you. Yeah. We got you good.
I remember getting hit once and I logged in. I was like, oh, that sucks. Whatevs. Like I didn't care at all. So you guys basically fall onto this piranha plan you had, if you don't mind just explaining that in detail.
Yeah. So the piranha plan, essentially the way we figured out they worked was if you were in a big clan, like say for instance, we were all in Crack and we used it on gold, we would get a lot of their XP, but it would distribute it evenly amongst the 600 people, 800 people in Crack. So you'd only level up like 5 levels, but the way it worked was before it got changed, you could do it and it would distribute, if you were in a small clan, it would distribute all that XP only to like you and 8 other dudes, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you were taking 800 people's XP, taking it it was a ratio that stole a certain percentage amount from every single person, which also was changed because the way piranhas work now is it only hits the top 10 people to stop people from doing what we did. So like they had to retroactively change that toy a lot. They also had to add a 5-minute cooldown timer to sort of make it more like if what's it called? If someone that was specifically trying to stop what we were doing was online, they had more time to react, because when we did it in like 5 minutes. We got everyone's XP. There was 0 time to react.
right. So you guys start stacking these piranha. What was it called? Piranha.
Yeah, the piranhas.
Piranhas. Yeah. How many did you guys stack that first time before the patch?
Aperture had, I believe, 200 of them. I had 20. Siggy had like 50. Smokane had like, I think around 20, around the same amount I had. So in total, we had like 300.
Yeah.
And then we just did it. We would go each clan and then crack 2. So it'd be like crack, gold, AFC, Josie, crack, gold, AFC. You know what I mean? Like take all of them in order. Yep.
Damn. And so you guys hit like basically the top 4 or 5 clans or whatever?
Yep. The bigger the clan, the more people, the higher XP. That's who we were after.
Okay, so what if you don't have to give me the exact number, but like what was your level before doing that initial attack, and what was it afterwards?
Before it was 180 something, and afterwards it was 1,251.
Oh my god! Okay.
Yeah, dude.
That's so fucking funny to me.
I know. Every time we would use one, the amount of XP we're stealing, I would go up 100, like roughly 100 levels.
Holy
and the levels go up, like the amount of XP you need for a level goes up as you get higher level. So it would start going down a little bit. So then it would be like 100, 80, 60, 60 again. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was just going like that. And boy, were people upset. They did not like that one little bit.
Yeah. So this was during the first iteration of the clan toy, so it was just taking from everyone in the clan, right?
Exactly. Correct. It was taking from everyone. There was no restriction. Yep.
So
you could use it back to back.
So was this just one focused attack that happened over one night, or were you doing this like multiple nights in a row?
So the main, the one that the 8 of us were in on, APSI. Aperture had 3 accounts: his main account, his second account, and his third account, all in the thing. And then you got me, Smoke, Siggy, and Gurns. I believe there was this guy. I looked back at my screenshot of the night when it happened. There was this guy, Gandalf Maxer, that was also in on it with us. And so that was the initial crew that was taking everyone's money, or not taking everyone's money, taking everyone's levels, and funneling it into our own. After that, the production team, Wes, saw what. So sorry,
just to pause you there for a second. So it was just like a one night attack, basically. That the first bombing run, let's say.
And it happened within like 5 minutes too. So
really?
They had no time. Oh yeah, because there was no cooldown on the toy itself. So we literally used it. Use it. Every 5 seconds we were using one.
Okay. And then
for like, I think it was 15-30 minutes.
Okay. So the attack itself lasted like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said basically production kind of got wind of this, right? Not too long after. So how long did it take them to figure this out? What time of night did you guys do this at? Because I know you said you did it in the middle of the night, right?
Yep. So it was the 20th day. I have the date on the screenshot. I think it was like, I want to say like, right, it was like the 18th or like 19th or something of January. Yep. And production was the next morning. Wes was talking with some people that were adding him and were saying, there's an error with the game. I lost all my levels. And Wes was like, you didn't lose your levels. They got like taken. Yeah. And then so I added Wes and was like, you know how we did this, right? And he's like, elaborate. He added me to elaborate. And I explained to him in a DM, I'm like, so we used exactly what I told you. Yeah. And he thought it was funny. Jet was upset. Like Jet wouldn't, people from our group of people were adding Jet and they're like, hey, did you see what we did? Like, and sometimes he's a good sport. Like he would respond to people in general every once in a while. But I feel like he wasn't a fan of this particular thing.
Yeah.
So it was almost like us showing him how to play his own game. At least I hope that's how I perceived it. Like he was more, kind of like you guys, rather than like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I could see that, because if people playing the game feel like it's unfair and then they stop playing, they stop spending money.
Correct.
So I could,
yeah, exactly.
From a business standpoint, I could see why he might not want that.
Yeah. Because exactly like you said, it takes away their incentive to log in every day, get their levels, not by taking them from people, but by playing the game how it's meant to be played. Which is like, it's funny because there was this whole like item inventory, item crafting thing that people thought that was the key to leveling up.
Yeah.
And I think we even let some people believe that. We're like, yeah, we unlocked a secret item, because we were misleading them to like what we actually did, but not production. We told them what we actually did.
After you spoke to Wes, basically that's when things got patched, right? For the piranha fish toy?
Correct. The next day.
So the next day, okay. So next day it gets patched, and basically what got patched was the added cooldown timer, plus it would only take XP from the top 10 in a clan, right?
And it would also the price of it got times by 5, from 200 to 1,000.
Okay.
That way to make it more expensive for people who had figured out what we did without, because we didn't tell anyone besides our close clique. But if someone could figure it out and they want to do the same thing, it would just cost them more money to do.
So, and then I know you guys did like another grand attack. Is that correct?
Yeah. So Ka Clan, the one that supported duan'ye.
Yeah.
I almost used his other name. But so they all loved his laugh. So they made Ka Clan. And he reached out to me because I was on the leader. I think it was number 4 at that time. And he's like, hey, I'm looking to up my clan's notoriety. I'm looking to bring us from essentially bottom of the clan to, he wanted to be, I think, top 5.
Yeah.
He's like, how can I do that? How much money do I have to spend? I know you're the guy to ask, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you really want to do this? It's going to be a lot of money. And I told him, after vetting him a little bit to make sure he didn't just take the plan and run with it himself, I was like, here's what you got to do. And I altered it a little bit. I was like, well, first you got to give me 2,000 coins. Even though he really didn't have to, he could have done it all himself, but to like involve me in it, so I benefited from it too. I went into Ka. I told all of them that Ka was going to do it again. So I told them all to not be in a top 6 clan, to make sure that if they were in a clan, they were off the target, so to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so then Ka hit the top 5 clans in a similar fashion that we did on day 20. I believe they did that day 36, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
We jumped up. Ka clan went from number 60 clan to number 4 or 5, and then we also went up on the leaderboard. I went from number 4 to number 2, which I remained at until the very last day, just from that secondary boost with Ka clan.
Okay. Oh, so you were part of Ka Clan while that attack took place. You weren't just giving them the info on how to do it.
Oh yeah, I was telling them how to do it with little nuanced lies to include myself, so I would benefit from it too.
Okay.
Because that was part of my intel gathering, figuring out if anyone knew about what we did, and if they were gonna do it, letting us, the real people, know how to avoid it, like not being in the people that was gonna get attacked.
Yeah, so let's jump to that, I guess. So the final third big attack of the clans were basically...
And this was the biggest.
Yeah, and this was basically revenge on the top guys, you 5. So who was it that attacked you? Was it all the clans? Was it...
Yep, it was 1-800. He put aside his differences with Gold Clan leader Fish, and I believe Josie, and not Psych Gang, because Psych Gang right now is number 1, and I actually had a pretty friendly relationship with them. We were more so after the clans that were pretty arrogant with their spending, and the ones that were more aggro with their like either
branding.
Verbal attacks. Yeah, and a lot of it in TTS. A lot of these clan wars were initiated by TTSs that would say like, crack sucks. This is gold. We're the best, actually. And they'd be like, oh, you're the best. And they would just go and like knock them down like a peg. Like a lot of it was that.
How did they figure out it was just you? Because like you guys seem to float from clan to clan. So how did they figure out it was you guys specifically?
Either, I'm not exactly sure, but a couple theories. It could have been one of the 5 telling them, but saving themselves. So it might have been Smoke, because Smoke is still number 1, and he's the only one that didn't get killed. So almost like in the mafioso mindset. It's like if you're thinking Godfather, exactly. You're thinking
Smoke
Godfather.
Dude, Smoke snitched on you. What the
Yeah, bro. I don't know for sure, but that's...
Yo, you fuck him up in season 3. Yo, season 3, no, Smoke gotta get smoked in season 3. That has to be your main mission. That has to be your main mission. You need to fucking call Aperture and figure this shit out.
Legit, bro. Because I think Aperture knows too, but he doesn't care enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I just think that'd be funny if you guys like
out.
dedicated all your income to just fucking making sure he can't have fun. Yeah. Just make the experience like unenjoyable for him. That'd be really funny.
And so the way I knew they spent so much money is Aperture at that time was level 2,000, like 180. He had like 1,000 levels on me.
Yeah.
And I was number 2. So like the amount of money that they must have used to take this guy out is insane. And not only that, the coordination, they were saving their nukes, which was used to remove your levels one time.
Yep.
When you said you logged in, you're like, oh, I got nuked.
Yeah.
So when you can't get nuked when you're in a clan, but they took us out of a clan and had saved all their nukes, I think, for like God knows how long, because they just used them over and over and over and over until legit Aperture had like 0 levels. I had like 100, maybe like 80, I think, or something like that. We lost so much XP. And it was literally all just retaliation.
Okay, so they sexy assassin basically the top 5, and then from there they just nuked you over and over again.
Which they had 100% planned, because I looked at chat, and it was literally just 700 people nuking us. Like,
yeah. Damn. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
How much did nukes cost? Do you know?
So they were not viable, but you had to do you had a 50% chance of getting either a nuke or a Chris Lynch item if you did your daily quests, which were those 2 little quests that they had. Like, yes. So it was like 800 people. If you were the clan leader, you would imply that it's very important for them to do the quests in the hopes that they save up the nukes. And then I guarantee they said at some point, okay, don't spend any more nukes. We have a plan. And then this is all from like conjecture, but based on what happened to me. But I assume that's exactly what they did.
That's basically the whole story of it. You guys rose to the top, and like, you rose to the top through, gray area rule bending means. Almost on some mafioso type shit. And like most gangster movies, in the end, you were assassinated by other gangsters.
Exactly. It's so funny when you put it like that, because that is exactly how it happens.
Yeah. Well, and because you also got sold out by one of your own members.
Yeah, going over the facts to you has made me even more confirm in my own head, because I've always suspected that it was Smoke who sold us out. Yeah. But now I'm almost 99% sure based on what you said. Yeah, because it's too obvious.
Yeah. No, it's fucking clear as day, man. That he obviously. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
He was part of the 5. He was like one of the only people who knew what was actually going on. Because we would lead clan leaders down these wild rabbit holes. Like, first you got to give me 2,000, then you got to do this, and then you got to do that. And they're like, okay, I'll do it.
I could see why they wanted to f you guys over now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's why they had such an alliance, bro. They had so many people that were like, these assholes just keep jumping in our clans, taking our money, and just dipping out the next day. Because I would always promise, like,
you're selling snake oil.
Oh man!
If you don't want to answer this question, that's fine. But out of curiosity, how much real world money did you spend on tokens?
So surprisingly, since I was aligned with Aperture, after I got the initial 2,000 from him, the only thing that I bought was the season pass, the $60 one, and then I bought $20 worth of tokens. The rest of it was just
Holy
people
shit.
giving me money. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So you spent
Yeah.
almost the same amount as me.
$80.
You
Just
ever-
theory crafting out there. Because I'm a WoW player. Like, WoW players love this. It's almost like a feather in the cap of how little money you can spend and
Yeah.
still be as good as you can get.
Okay, well, I think that's probably all the questions I have regarding the clan
Oh, yeah,
wars.
man.
But I feel like I learned a lot. Thank you.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to that you now know the little lore behind the underbelly of Fish Tank.
Yeah. Alrighty, I need to go. So again, nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Nice talking to you too, man.
Yeah, and
Anytime, my
we'll stay in
friend.
touch. And when season 3 rolls around, please keep me in the loop and make me the #1 boy in the tank or in the leaderboards.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. If it's possible, I'll message you and we'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah. All right. Sick.
We'll get you in on the inner council.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Word.
All right. Take care, man.
Take care, brother.
Ciao.